Very
Yes. That's very nice. So, well, I'm gonna get started here talking, and some more people can sign on, and then we'll have Tanya go in. So I really just wanted to take a couple minutes just to quickly introduce myself. I know we have some new people on tonight. And also, this is our 4th week of Smoothie Sisters. That means we've been doing this for a month. I remember when the pandemic started, it was like, oh, I don't know if we can stay in quarantine for a couple weeks. And the days are just flying by. And we hope that we give you something to look forward to on Tuesdays and Sundays. So briefly, my name is Rebecca Lago. I'm one of the owners of Ginger and Juice Bar in Miami. And my sister Miriam, she's in Seattle, and she's the co-owner with it as well. My sister and I, we had wanted to open up a healthy fast food joint for over a decade. And, I left the beer business last summer, and it was really just the perfect time for us to go ahead and say, let's make this dream a reality. So we put together a business plan. We got all of our ducks in a row, or I guess you could say juices in a row. And we opened up our doors in March of this year. So I know you know where this story is going. We had to close less than 3 weeks after we opened our doors. So that was a little bit devastating. And really, our mission, Miriam and I, we really want to bring that healthy alternative to fast food to our community. And when we had tried to find that, we couldn't. So this is really what we're trying to do. And this is what has inspired us. And just because our doors are closed doesn't mean we don't still care about that mission. And that's really where Smoothie Sisters came about. We want to be able to show you that it's very easy to be healthy. It's fun for children, fun for adults. And each episode, we come up with a new recipe to share. And then, of course, we want to give you the nutrition behind it. So these classes are 100% free. Some of you have reached out to see how you can help us. If you'd like to donate, you can do so at Ginger and Juice Bar on Venmo or PayPal. And Miriam will put the links in the chat. And other than that, tonight is definitely a special night for us. I guess you could say on our 1-month anniversary here, we have special guest Tanya Willis. So for those of you who don't know, Tanya was actually our first customer at Ginger and Juice Bar randomly. She lives in Canada. She was visiting Miami. She came in, and then we saw her and her husband the next day as well. And we just really hit it off. We had a very nice connection with them. We stayed in touch. And that is really what brings Tanya here tonight. So she is the author of Cookie Dough in the Dark. And I don't know about you, but I have a sweet tooth. And she is going to talk about how to curb those cravings. So I guess the one last thing that I will say before I hand over the floor, or should I say the screen, I guess, to her, is if you have any questions or any comments that you want to go through, just please put those in the chat feature, and we will try to get those during this episode. If we cannot, when we are finished, we will send out the full recipe with details from tonight, and we will address any of those things at that time. So if everyone doesn't mind, just making sure that they keep themselves muted during the presentation, and just go ahead and use that chat feature. So without further ado, Tanya, take it away.
Yay! Thanks for having me. Here's my cup that we won in the draw of our first day that we've been using. And thank you so much for having me. You know how much I love smoothies. So basically, I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. My name is Tanya Willis, and I wrote Cookie Dough in the Dark, which is my decades-long addiction to sugar. And smoothies was one of the things to help me free myself from constant chewing on sugar. So anyway, I give lots of tips and tricks in here. It's a very raw and vulnerable story, and it has really helped a lot of people realize that it's not about perfection, it's about the journey. And so I'm going to just focus on smoothies tonight, but we're also going to link up to this book, and you can ask me any questions after, and I also have a freebie as well on how to get off, how to crush your sugar cravings. So I have my little notes here so I don't go astray. Sugar addiction is chemical, environmental, and habitual. So sugar is actually more addictive than cocaine. It is like if they put mice in a little experiment, they will tend to go to the sugar more than cocaine, which says something about how addictive sugar is. And what we feed ourselves, we crave. And then you all know that loop is when you start getting into the sugar, it's really hard to get off the sugar without having some detox symptoms. So smoothies really helped, because what I learned is that the more nutrient dense I made my diet, the less I started to crave sugar. So I'm going to show you my fat releasing, energy boosting, brain boosting smoothie tonight that is super simple and was definitely one of the transitions that helped me. It's also environmental, because sugar is everywhere, right? Just look around, it's in everywhere and it's in everything. So just notice what's in your house and what's tempting you. And if it's really tempting you, you know, you don't have to get rid of everything, but just start to try and see if you can not bring it back into the house. And habitual. I don't know about any of you, but I definitely use sugar as like a reward, a coping mechanism, and a distraction of uncomfortable thoughts. So I talk a lot about that in my book, a lot of shame behind over-consuming sugar, etc. And it's a really something that starts when you're a child sometimes. I don't know, parents out there, if you can relate, is that when your child does something good, you offer them a treat. And typically the treat is something sweet. And so that loop gets really ingrained in us early in childhood. And what happens is that we begin to just crave it unconsciously. So we're feeling stressed or unhappy or distracted or uncomfortable, and we tend to reach for something sweet. And it's also, our brain is set up that way. So it's something we really have to become aware of. So steps to take, which I talk about in my book and also the freebie that will link up to you, is notice your habits. You cannot change anything until you notice your habits. And sometimes that can be a really scary step, because we don't even want to notice what we're doing. Change what you're eating. So this is huge. I was eating I thought I was pretty healthy, but I needed more fruits and vegetables, more nutrient dense food. So the quality of our food and our soil these days is not what it used to be. So instead of having like 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables, we now need upwards of 12 plus servings of fruits and vegetables. So that is another reason why I added smoothies to my diet, because it is such a great way to get so many fruits and vegetables. And what helped me? So I'm just going to move you over here, and we're going to start making this smoothie. So I'm going to move my cup. Now, one of the things I use is I use Juice Plus. So I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but the reason I love it is it's just plants. So this is chocolate. So every day, literally, I start my morning with a chocolate smoothie, which is to die for. And I love whole Juice Plus Whole Complete, because it's safe for the entire family. A lot of companies use synthetic vitamins and minerals. This is just plants. So it's like whole pomegranate, whole sweet potato, etc., etc. So I needed to make sure that I was flooding my body with nutrients. So basically, to start this smoothie, now if you don't have Juice Plus, that's totally fine. You can use your chocolate one of choice, or like a tablespoon of or 2 of raw cacao powder. And I like the fact that it's raw, just because it's more nutrient dense than if it's Dutch processed. So I just put 1 scoop. I love my Vitamix. Whatever blender you have is totally fine. I put that in there, and I switched to this smoothie after a lot of trial and error, because I found a lot of them had a gritty aftertaste, or just an aftertaste I didn't like. It's also, like I said, just plants, and because we need to up our fruits and vegetables, I got a lot in here. And our bodies need to detox daily, so getting fruits and vegetables into them are great. Also, the other thing I loved about this one is it has a low glycemic index. So anybody that does have sugar issues, when you eat sugar, your insulin goes up, and then you actually crave sugar. So if you can bring low glycemic foods into your diet that still taste great, you keep your blood sugar levels low, your insulin levels low, and you reduce your cravings. So having Juice Plus is this equivalent to eating broccoli in terms of how it spikes your blood sugar, which is amazing for anybody who is diabetic or never wants to be diabetic. So it also contains fiber, which keeps us full. So the more fiber we eat, the less we feel like eating. And as we know, sugary things have no fiber at all, and then that's why we keep eating and eating and eating them. The other thing is we are just made up of cells. That's it. We are just a cellular being. And I talk about this in my book. And when I learned to feed my cells rather than my emotions or the social atmosphere or something like that, that's when a lot of transition really started to help. So I believe that when you're educated and empowered, you make better decisions. So Juice Plus Whole Complete builds and protects your cells, and that's just what we're made of. So we want to keep them healthy and happy. It's also quick and easy. Making smoothies, oh my goodness, is so simple and easy. So when I had the breakfast of my past, I don't just have this for breakfast, I'll have it for dessert as well. But a lot of breakfast cereals and breads and pastries, etc., are very inflammatory, and they also spike your blood sugar. So by 10 o'clock, you're craving something, and typically it's not great because of that sugar swing that you're on. So I just found having a smoothie in the morning just a great way to start my day. So what else do I add? Well, I know that they talked about cinnamon last week. I love cinnamon, and I'm going to tell you why I love cinnamon. I'm going to put my little notes here. Just it's high in antioxidants, relieves inflammation, protects your heart, stabilizes blood sugar. So that's a great one. Preserves brain function, lowers cancer risk, fights infection and viruses, benefits the skin, and lowers glycemic index. So I buy organic cinnamon, and I never really measure anything. I just poured some in there. I know last week you had a lot of cinnamon in that smoothie too, so that's all right. Love it. So we're going to put the cinnamon there off to the side. Then I like bee pollen. You can totally choose to use it or not. Totally your call. And the reason I use it is because, again, it reduces inflammation compared to many drugs. It's an antioxidant, which helps to protect our cells, right? So every time we breathe in, our cells age, so we need to have antioxidants to help reduce aging. Protects your liver and boosts your immune system, relieves stress, and promotes healing. So, I say about a teaspoon to throw in there, but I usually just shake and see where I'm going from there. Okay, flax seeds. I love me some flax seeds. Now, if you don't have a blender like a Vitamix, you cannot put whole flax seeds. You need to grind them. So once upon a time, I put them in a coffee grinder. I would grind them up and then put them in my blender. But the Vitamix does blend whole flaxseed. So I'm going to just throw some flaxseed in here, like so, usually about 2 tablespoons. And again, they're high in fiber, which decreases you wanting to eat sooner, right? Because you feel fuller. They're high in antioxidants and omega-3s. Omega-3s are super important for our brain health, improves our skin and hair, lowers our cholesterol. They're gluten-free, manages blood sugars, which again, we're looking for that in regards to lowering our blood sugar levels, supports digestive health, may lower cancer risk, helps with weight loss, and helps to balance hormones. Very powerful. Okay, I love collagen. So we used to absolutely get more collagen in our diet because we used to have a lot more bones. We let them simmer and make soups. But we are needing collagen these days. Again, totally your call whether you put it in there or not. But I'm going to put a scoop in. I like various brands. This one is Vital Proteins, but I switched to Organica as well. Just depends on my mood, but I always look for non-GMO, organic, something to that effect. And the reason I love collagen is it resets leptin so that your body understands what fuel is and what a clean protein to help improve your skin, hair, nails, helps heal leaky guts, reduces joint pain, strengthens your teeth and nails, and cleanses your liver. So again, pretty powerful. When I compare my morning shake to, again, the breakfasts I used to eat in the past that were very inflammatory, I cannot tell you how this has changed in regards to just making me feel healthier, giving me more energy, and knowing that I'm boosting my brain, which brings me to my next ingredient, MCT oil. So you could use coconut oil. I like MCT oil. I also buy Bulletproof Brain Octane, which is really great. I'm just out of it at the moment. But again, when you're starting with MCT oil, oh, okay, I'll ask that after. When you're adding MCT oil and you've never had it before, start with about half a teaspoon and then build your way up, because it can be very cleansing, let's just say, to your gut. So again, I don't really measure, and I've been using this for about 7 years. So I probably put a little bit more in there than would be good for you guys. So again, just start where you want to. And the MCT oil boosts your metabolism, kicks up our fat burning. So we have been living in this no fat, low fat era for way too long. Our brains are 60% fat. We need fat. Our cells need it for to communicate properly. Think of 2 grapes as opposed to 2 raisins, right? So we want to be the grapes with the smooth skin, and fat helps us with that. So it improves heart health, improves energy and mood, supports digestion, absorption, balances the gut bacteria. So super awesome. And then I'll just tell you the benefits of Juice Plus. I forgot to tell you that at the beginning, but it supports heart health, improves skin and hair, reduces joint pain, protects your DNA, improves gut health, balances blood sugar, prevents diabetes, cleanses your liver, increases your immune system, and controls cholesterol. That is pretty powerful. So I got me one awesome shake here. So the other thing is I used to use nut milks, and then what I decided to do was just use nuts. So typically I just take, these are walnuts and pumpkin seeds, and I cover them with water and I let them sit overnight, and then I rinse them. And that is not an absolute necessary step, but nuts have phytic acid in them. So when you soak them, it takes that out of there, and it helps your gut. So it's much easier on your gut if you soak your nuts first. Again, not mandatory, but certainly helps. And so instead of using nut milks, I just take a handful and throw it in here, depending on my mood and how much I want to put in there, how dense I want to make my shake. And then I have like nut milk, because when I add water and it blends together, I'm going to get the benefit of the walnuts and the pumpkin seeds. You can use any nut you want, and I would suggest varying it around from almond to pecan to cashew, whatever works for you. You can do oat milk. If you're going to do oat milk, I might, actually, there is a recipe, but I don't have it off the top of my head yet. Okay, so I think that is everything I put in my shake, and then I just put water and I have ice. Now, one thing I will mention, when I did start making the shake at the very beginning, I did put in a whole banana. But what I had done over the time is when I went from a whole banana to a half a banana to a quarter of a banana to no banana. So mostly in the mornings, I have one without any fruit. Now, sometimes I'll add, I'm on a little bit of a cherry kick right now, so I'll add some frozen cherries. But in the morning especially, it's really good to keep the sugar low, just to keep those blood sugar levels balanced so we don't have a swing. So let me just see if we have gone over everything. I don't know if there's any questions at all. Oh, I'll go over that in a second. So I'm going to blend this. If you have some questions, throw them in there. And somebody asked me how much collagen. Collagen comes with a scoop, and so I just scoop it out. Some days I use 2 of them. Some days I use 1 scoop. You know, I always just say when you're starting something, then just start small and build up to it. Okay, super duper. So I'm just going to add my water. And, oh, I'm going to put a little extra in. And I'm going to blend this, so it's going to make a little noise. This is the time you can do a few little squats if you want. Okay, here we go. Dance. Oh, a little bit of ice. Super. And then you pour it in here. And I wish you could all taste this and smell it. It smells so good. Yum, yum. And also, just to go along with the girls, we got to use our straws, okay? Your stainless steel straws, which are available everywhere. So I love putting my lid on here, drinking out of my ginger and juice smoothie mug on the go. So a couple reasons. I know we're wrapping this up really quickly, but one of the reasons that smoothies are so great, especially if you keep the fruit low, is that they help to balance your blood sugars. When your blood sugars are all over the place, you're going to crave more sugar. It's also a massive break on your digestive system because you don't have to chew your food. Most of us don't chew our food enough, and then we have to have our stomachs chew it for us, and they don't have teeth. So pre-blending is amazing for that. Loaded with fiber, which helps to rid your body of toxins. Oh my God, there's so much we could talk about. They're easy to consume. I really started to have a lot of smoothies when my kids were small because I could just grab and go. So that was awesome. Provide your body with so many nutrients and antioxidants, live enzymes, and so many other good things. So cheers to everybody. Thank you for having me. If you'd like to find out more about my book, please, we're going to send out a link, or ask me any questions. I love helping people just reduce their sugar intake. And also, I am affiliated with Juice Plus, which is the product that I use tonight. And they also have a product line where kids can eat free. So if you want to ask me some questions about that, please do. And I think that's it. So back to you, Becca.
Awesome. Well,
that was
thank
so
you
good.
so much to Tanya, a virtual clap there. You know, I really appreciated that, and we will definitely be trying out your recipe. I will send the recipe to everyone after the class is over, so you can make that at home. And a couple of things I did want to mention is, you know, some great words to leave us with that you mentioned: educated and empowered. I really love that. I think, you know, people eat a lot of things that they're not educated about. And really, once you can finally get some of that good stuff in your body, Hayden over here agrees with me, you know, it empowers you to continue to do better and better. And I also loved the trick about the nuts and using that whole food. Next week on my episode on Wednesday, we are going to be using a product called Joy, which is a whole food. It's 100% nuts. They do cashew, almond, and you know, I'm very excited to share that with you. So that was a great segment into that. And other than that, we really appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We have Smoothie Sistas on Sunday at 2 o'clock with Miriam, at 2 o'clock Eastern with Miriam, and we hope to see everybody there. So we look forward to sipping on some smoothies with you soon. And I'm going to unmute